The indie author revolution has been around for more than a decade, but we indies continue to push the boundaries of what we're capable of. From getting over initial prejudices to staring down perfectionism and author imposter syndrome, we've become a force to reckon with. Indie authors now wear more hats than ever as we strive to create a career full of meaning, prosperity, and potential. We've juggled the demands and continue to be rebels in the face of adversity. Now, after years of hearing the shouts of hustle and grind, we indies are rebelling again. Gone are the days of publishing a book a month until we drop, and in its place are the seeds of a better way to rapid release. A way that feels incredible as we build a sustainable, lifelong author career that not only increases our visibility and royalties, but it's all done with intention and ease. If you're ready to buck the system and become the visionary authorpreneur I know you're meant to be, you've come to the right place. I'm Carissa Andrews, international best-selling indie author, and this is the Author Revolution podcast. Well, hey there, guys. Welcome back to the Author Revolution podcast. Now, this week, I want to dive in to a really awesome interview that I'm having with the creators of the anthology, Turning the Tide. Now, this is a project that I'm actually personally involved in, but I didn't even know some of the details that I found out through the course of interviewing Sonya Sargent and Anthony Strong. They are a husband-wife duo that is in the process of creating this anthology that is all about supporting the humanitarian efforts for the war in Ukraine. I don't know about you, but for me, it's been a very tumultuous time because as heart-centered individuals, as people who are seeing what's going on in the world, we have a couple of choices, right? We have the ability to look at the things that make our heart hurt and try to make them better, or we have the ability to kind of tune out a little bit and not look so much at the things that we do not want to perpetuate in the world. So we have choices. And sometimes that choice to not look at the thing that is bringing us down or making our vibe kind of dwindle or hurting our hearts, it's still a tough one because you feel like you're not doing enough. And so when I got tapped by Sonya to be a part of this anthology, it lit me up in a way that I didn't realize I was feeling like I was missing. Hopefully that makes sense because it was like I didn't know what to do in order to put my energy towards the good that can happen from the conflict that is going on over in Ukraine. And so she has gone through and vetted a few different 501c3 nonprofit organizations that are dedicated to the humanitarian efforts happening over there. Some of them dealing with animals, some of them dealing with the hospital efforts. So for me, when I was invited into this anthology, it was like my heart expanded. I felt like, yes, this is the thing that I can be doing to benefit, the good in the world, the change that we want to see in the world. And so, of course, I jumped in on it immediately because it just felt like the right thing to do. And I am so thrilled to be a part of it and to have been asked by Sonya to be a part of this team. Now, what was interesting is that I met Sonya and Tony, it must have been a year ago now, or almost a year, when I was actually presenting for the Bayou Writers down in NOLA, so New Orleans. My friend Paul Heingarten, he introduced me to his writing group, which is this Bayou Writers group, and I got to meet both of these amazing individuals there. And so they happened to think about me a year later after I did this presentation for their group. And it was just like such a divine providence type situation. And so for those of you who are following my millionaire author mantra, my millionaire author destiny stuff, I don't even know how to call it or how to describe it at the moment. But if you're following that stuff, I really do believe that we call into us the things that are meant for us because of our desires and the things that we put into our vibrational escrow, as Abraham Hicks calls. And so for me, it was like I wanted to be of service. I wanted to do something that was good and that I didn't understand or know how the best way to do it. And to be able to marry up my love of writing and what I do for a living through my fiction with being able to help the humanitarian efforts, it was just such an incredible and wonderful thing. So I am so thrilled, like I said, to be a part of this anthology. But I'm also here to do this interview because I want all of you to see, number one, that when you are a part of something bigger than yourselves, you can actually move mountains as well. Some of the things that you do, some of the things that you're involved in can be of tremendous help of starting some super change in your world. And so don't be afraid to join into things and to be a part of things that are bigger than just one person, because it can do such good in the world. And number two, when you put up those rockets of desire, or you're putting up those wishes of what you want to see in this world and how you want your life to live, don't be surprised when they show up unexpectedly, because they do. And that's how this one came about for me. It was just such an unexpected, wonderful surprise. And so I am so thrilled, like I said, to be a part of this anthology. There is something like 34 of us so far in this amazing mystery, thriller, and dark fantasy anthology. And so without further ado, I am going to let this interview speak for itself as we speak with Sonya and Anthony. Well, thank you so much for being on the Author Revolution podcast. I am so excited that you're here, Sonya and Tony. I talked a little bit in the intro about how I got involved, how we met, how everything kind of came together. But could you tell my audience a little bit about who you guys are and what you write and what you do?
Sure. Well, we write, we do two different genres. We write supernatural thrillers under the Anthony M. Strong brand, and then we have just started straight mystery thrillers under a new pen name, A.M. Strong, and those are more in the vein of a David Baldacci, or though maybe a cross between Baldacci and Jeffrey Deaver. So they're still dark. They still have some dark elements in them, but they're not supernatural. They're straight mystery. So we've got both of those going on right now, and of course the anthology for Ukraine that we're putting together as well, which encompasses people from various different genres.
That's awesome. And Sonya, how about you?
Well, I'm just mostly the backup person. I do all the back end stuff for our little, publishing company. I do the marketing. I'm the initial editor before it goes off to another editor. We plot most of the stories together for everything. So
really
I call myself the grunt.
The grunt. You need a better name. You should be like the back end queen, or
I have another name, but I'm not going to say it on the.
I call her the boss.
The boss. He calls me the boss.
There you go.
Our dog's the boss, but you know.
Yeah, there has to be a hierarchy.
Somebody works for somebody. Everybody works for everybody here.
Yes, that works. That works. Everyone's the boss at some point in the whole fiasco, right?
Right.
That makes sense. Okay, so Anthony talked about it a little bit briefly, but let's talk about Turning the Tide and kind of where this concept came from, and like what was how did the origin story come about for this anthology?
Well, I mean, the funny thing is it was on our anniversary, wasn't it? Yeah. We were out to dinner, and I had received an email earlier that day from some animal charity that I give to. We have, I should say, back up a little bit and say that we have 2 dogs, and they're both rescues, and animal rescue and animal charities are something that's really close to my heart, and I'm super, super passionate about. Back before the book writing was a thing, I used to have a pet product company, and I created a line of organic bamboo dog collars and pet products. And then I gave 10% of all the profits to various charities that were doing things for the environment and animals. So anyway, I've sold that. That was a while ago, but cool. Charity and pet charity in particular has always been a passion of mine. So anyway, I had received an email earlier that day from some pet charity that we give to, and they had mentioned this company, this organization called the Harmony Fund, and the Harmony Fund was going into Ukraine and rescuing all of the abandoned pets and getting food to the people that had taken their pets and were displaced from their homes. And they'd gotten over 3 tons of food to animals in need and the humans, who are taking them with them. And when I started to read about it, I really wanted to do more to help. We of course donated, but I wanted to be able to donate more than we could afford to donate, because it's such a worthy cause and it's such a terrible tragedy. So I was talking to Tony about it over dinner, this Harmony Fund, and he was like, well, what can we do? We could use our talents and see if we can raise more money. So what if we do something where we put something together and see if we can just raise more money for the various charities, because this war is absolutely terrible. And I think especially, when it first was happening in February and March, I think everybody was shocked and, feeling really helpless, and what we can do to, make the situation better ourselves. So that's how it came around through that.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Do you have anything to add to that, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, it really was an organic idea. It started fairly small, and our original plan was just to get together a couple of thriller authors and put together an anthology that way. And then as we talked about it more, it began to expand into other genres and started to become more about supernatural, and also, like Sonya said, we got a couple of sci-fi authors in. So it really did grow from a germ to become something a lot bigger. I think we've got, is it 34 authors in now?
I think we have 34 in right now, and we're still adding
that question.
Yeah, because it became more about, where we were like, oh, we can do a thriller, because you kind of go with your community first.
Yeah.
We can go thriller, and we know some authors, but as we started expanding out, we wanted it to be more about the authors coming together to create something, meaningful, something that's going to change, people's lives.
Yeah.
So we were able to meet with other authors and expand out into other genres. And the thing is, I don't know very many people who only read one straight genre. I read everything from cozy mystery to thrillers to supernatural to hauntings.
But not horror.
I don't read straight horror. No, it's true. And he writes horror sometimes. So that makes it hard when I'm editing. I'm like, don't make it gross.
I love it. Not gruesome horror, psychological. Go psychological. Yeah.
Urban fantasy. I mean, I love urban fantasy. So there's a lot of, we feel honored that we have been able to get so many wonderful people involved in this. And I'm really hoping that we can make a difference.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, just seeing that you've got some New York Times bestselling authors in there. You've got some USA Today bestselling authors in there.
We do.
International bestselling authors, and then just some amazing authors who are up and coming in their space. It's been incredible to watch it continue to grow. Like every time I'm like looking, I'm going, holy cow, last time there was like 28, now there's 32, and now it's 34. And so it's just like, this is so cool. It's just been
sometimes it's hard to get a hold of the people though. Like, well, if I can't find their information any other way, I'll join their mailing list and then see if I can get the address that way. And then sometimes we have to also tag them on Facebook. It can be hard to get through spam filters and just reach all the people that we've been trying to get involved with this.
I bet. But it's been, I mean, the fact that it's growing and it has snowballed into this big anthology, it's just been really kind of a neat thing to watch, for at least from my perspective, as someone who's writing a story to go into it. It's just been like, wow, I can't believe how cool it is that everybody's kind of coming together for this cause and willing to, put in the effort for it. It's been such you guys and your brainchild, I guess, for this has just been incredible. It was such a neat thing to have it come about and have it explode the way it has.
Thank you. Well, it's I think it's also going to be a benefit to the authors above and beyond giving to charity, because it's also an opportunity for all of these other people and their fan base to buy the anthology and then discover some new authors to hopefully fall in love with. So I'm hoping it will be, an additional benefit to everybody putting in so much hard work.
I agree. And it's just been neat to see, like you were talking about, the difference of genres that were in there. Cause I think, like you were saying, originally it was just going to be thrillers, and it was going to be thrillers and mysteries, and then a little bit of supernatural, and then it was fantasy, and then it was dark fantasy, and then it's like, it's just continued to grow into this like really cool conglomeration. And so I don't know, I think especially readers who are listening, who are looking for new breakaway authors or new avenues just to kind of see what they're interested in right now and be able to help such a great cause. This is such a great anthology to be able to get like involved with and start, obviously donate their money to by purchasing the book, but it's just
and helping to be the change,
Yeah.
and we did the anthology by invite only. So everybody that we invited was vetted, everybody's writing was looked at. We wanted to make sure that the authors were all good writers, that they were all professional, that they were going to provide a great source of entertainment for anybody who buys the anthology. That was important to us too, to make sure that it was going to be like really well and professionally done.
Absolutely. And you can tell too, I mean, I don't know how many people are already starting to market it. I know it's coming out soon. We'll talk about that in a second, but I've noticed it's already gotten like #1 bestseller tags on Amazon. It's already been like high in the rankings. It's just been phenomenal already. And it's like, is anyone even talking about it yet? I'm like, what's happening here? This is so cool. Have you guys noticed that it's gotten those tags already?
Yeah, well, I fiddled with the categories over the weekend and contacted Amazon to make sure that, because when you put the book up, you only get the 3 categories. So I looked up all the other categories that it should be in, and I contacted them. So that helped to make a difference. And we started promoting it to our email lists and our readers, and we're most active on Facebook. Yeah. So we've started promoting it to all of our Facebook people as well. And we're getting a really great response. And I even asked all of the readers to also please go and share it.
Yeah.
Let's get the word out. The more that we can get the word out, the better, the more good we can do.
The better. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
we never usually do that. We don't do that with our readers. We don't normally advertise ourselves. We don't normally, ask them, to also share or anything like that. It's the first time that we have ever done that. So.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Well, I've shared it in my newsletter already so far. Obviously, you're going to be on the podcast. Go figure. And I've heard, I was talking with Paul, and he was saying, that some of us are doing TikToks, and I already have my TikTok like done and loaded, and I'm kind of waiting until we get a little closer to May to launch it. It's in my drafts folder. But I'll be doing more, obviously, in the month of May, because obviously that's when it's going to be launching, right? So let's talk about that. When is this book coming out?
The book is releasing on May 31st, and it is going to be available only through the month of June.
Wonderful.
So June 30th is the last day it will be for sale, and then it's going to be taken down, and then the story is redistributed to the authors to do with as they choose. So it's only a short time anthology.
Gotcha. So it's very limited edition, guys. And so if you're hearing this and you want to support this cause and want to support authors, get some new reads in your Kindle or your Kobo reader or whatever you're reading on, it's going to be an amazing anthology. It's been really cool.
It will take a while to read through, I think.
Yeah. So you mentioned one of the nonprofits that you're recommending. Can you tell us which other ones you're recommending for the authors who are part of the anthology to donate to?
Yes, I can. I printed it out so that I can sound like I know what I'm doing.
It's the first time for everything.
Yeah, basically, the authors can donate to whoever they want, whoever they see fit. But we had looked up and researched some of the charities that are going into Ukraine and are working hard to make things better. And we wanted to make sure, at least in the ones that we recommended, that the bulk of any donations are going into the actual work being done and not the top end, that they're all 501c3 for, US authors and all that. So the Harmony Fund was the one that got it started for me.
Yep.
Another one that's a great one is Unicef USA. I don't know if you ever did this, but when I was a kid and we go trick-or-treating on Halloween, we used to have our little, trick-or-treat bag. And then we'd also have like a little Unicef box. I don't know if they still do that. I'm sure that they probably don't. But we used to go.
I've never heard of that.
You never heard of that?
Yeah.
We used to go trick-or-treat Unicef. And what it was they would give them to all the kids. Now I'm 49, so ancient. But they used to give them to all the kids every year at Halloween to also go around and try to get, like people to, put in quarters or dollars or whatever for Unicef. So we used to go around and every year trick or treat Unicef. So it was like it's been a long running charity.
Yeah.
But they specifically try to help save and protect the world's most vulnerable children. And they're rated one of the best charities to donate to. Less than 3% of every dollar spent goes to administrative costs, which I think is amazing.
That is amazing.
And then another one is MedShare. And MedShare's mission is to improve the quality of life for people and the planet. MedShare is dedicated to improving healthcare and the environment through the efficient recovery and redistribution of the surplus of medical supplies and equipment for those most in need. So they really focus more on the medical attention that people need.
Absolutely.
Direct Relief Fund is it's a humanitarian organization. It's active in all 50 states and more than 80 countries. And their mission is to improve the health and lives of people affected by poverty and emergencies. So they're going in there and helping with food and housing and things like that. And then another one that is specifically UK, because we have several UK authors, is the Disasters Emergency Committee. And they're helping to meet the needs of refugees and displaced people.
Wow.
So those are all some really great charities that are working their butts off to help make a difference and help make people's lives better over there right now.
That's awesome. And I'll definitely make sure that in the show notes, if anyone's interested in taking a look at those charities and donating just straight out, that they have access to all of them as well, so that they can just go ahead and check them out and do their part in a bigger way even. So.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. And all these, I was on the websites yesterday, and on all of these websites, they're showing, what they're doing and the difference that they're making, and, what they've been doing as they've been going in there. So it's interesting too.
Oh, absolutely. That is so cool. Thank you so much for vetting it and going through all that process in order to figure out which ones are really doing the best work. I think that's one of the fears that a lot of us have when you're kind of wanting to do something, but you're not sure how to donate to it. And you don't want it to go, like you said, to the top end and not to the people who really need it, or the animals who really need it. Yeah. It becomes a bit of a struggle. And if you don't have the time, because we authors, we're all headless chickens. If you don't have the time to vet it or go through it, sometimes it feels overwhelming to even where do you begin? And so this list is really beneficial, I think, to a lot of people who are listening.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Yeah. And it's one, I'm a researcher anyway. So, like I said, I'm the back end grunt. So, I do all the back end stuff. And
you are so much more than that.
When we wanted to
much
put
more
this together. Being kind. But I do bring him his coffee. So
there you go. So you're the PA too. Go look at this.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. So I wanted to make sure when we were going to get into this that, we could recommend good, strong organizations, where it would be most beneficial to people.
So what made you guys think about having the authors themselves donate it versus just the author giving over the royalties to you guys, and that yes, everything that happens, just go ahead and donate, you choose the donation?
I'd say that was really our accountant.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
When we started, because we've never put together an anthology or a group of authors or anything. So when it came down to thinking, oh my goodness, there might be 30 to 40 people here. How do we take in the funds? How do we distribute it? We talked to a couple of the wonderful companies out there like Draft to Digital. They will a lot of times take a book and then they'll send it out to Barnes and Noble and Kobo and all the other Google Play and all that. I don't think they do Google Play, but all the other ones, they do not. Yeah, several of them, they'll distribute it out, and they also have a way of doing a royalty share so that it's split. But we were unable to do that because one of our strategies is to do a really heavy push for pre-orders, so that we get it all, kind of sewn up by the time it releases, since it's only available for such a short time. Right. And they were unable to do Amazon pre-orders. So we ended up needing to put the book up for sale individually on every site ourselves. Okay. So when we spoke to our accountant, he had suggested different ways of doing this that was going to make sense. And we ended up settling on basically putting it in our accounts, setting it up, and then distributing it when all the royalties come in, distributing it to the authors. Every author will get their share of it split evenly, and then they can donate it. That way they can also put it on their taxes as a contribution.
And I think it also makes it more alluring for the authors to be in, knowing that they can support the charity of their choice rather than having that decided for them.
Right. Like my passion is our passion,
right,
are the animals, but somebody else, might really want to do something like Unicef that really helps children, or MedShare that does that deals with the medical side of things. So we wanted them to be able to also make their own choices on what was important to them to help.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. I know for me, when I was first, because my assumption, when you were first talking about it to me, I was like, okay, that's great. Everything's going to be donated. And it didn't occur to me that we get to choose. And so when I found that, I was like, oh, now I got to dig more into these these different charity organizations that you guys have put up. So I thought it was a really cool way of doing it because I've not worked with an anthology like that. It's really neat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about when the anthology is going to be available for my readers and all of your readers and everybody else's readers. So if they want to pre-order the anthology and help with the incredible efforts, where should they go?
Well, they can go to any online retailer to place the pre-order. If they go into Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Amazon, and just put in Apple, put in Turning the Tide Anthology, it should pop right up at the top. You can also include links, with your podcast as well. We can send you the links over for all those different stores. And we do have a page on the West Street Publishing website that goes to the anthology, talks about it, and then it has all the links at the bottom where they can click on whichever store they prefer to buy it on. And that is www.weststreetpublishing.com/anthology.
Yeah.
Great. That's wonderful. Now, if my readers or my listeners, same thing, I guess.
Hopefully both.
Right, both, obviously. If my listeners want to find more about the two of you and what you guys are doing, where's a good place for them to go? Would it be that website as well, just not without anthology at the end of it? Or what's the best place?
I think probably for us would be more the author website.
Yeah.
Which would, actually, we've got two of them. We've got Anthony M. for Michael Strong.com, and then we've got amstrongauthor.com.
Yes.
And that depends on whether you want the supernatural stuff, it would be Anthony M. Strong, or whether you want the straight mystery fiction, and that would be amstrongauthor.com.
Wonderful. Well, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here and for sharing more information about the anthology and all of the wonderful charities that it's donating to. I know that my listeners are going to find it really as fascinating as I did, because it's just been such a neat, and I don't know, it's just been an inspiring group to already be a part of and know that your contributions, that your words are actually meaning something. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on today.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Well, guys, I hope you found this interview to be inspiring and to help you to see just how powerful we as authors can be, and how when we all come together for a collective good, we can do some incredible things together. Now, this anthology has come together in such a way that has been fast and powerful, and it's just been fascinating for me to watch from the back end of things, where, I got swooped up into the motion of it all. It all started because Sonya had this great idea. Anthony obviously got involved. All of a sudden, next thing you know, there are 34 of us jumping into this bandwagon, all wanting to do what we can to support the causes that Sonya has really vetted very well, because we know that there's something more that we can be doing with our creative efforts. And this is just one of the many ways that we can do it. So if you feel called to, I definitely encourage you to download a copy of Turning the Tide on any or all of the platforms that are out there. Honestly, the more that we can donate to this cause, the better, to all of these causes, because there's actually 5 of them that they recommend, the better. And so, like I said, check it out on your favorite platform. If you want, you can also head over to the show notes for today's podcast episode. So head over to authorrevolution.org/131. Not only will you be able to get the links to Turning the Tide, but you'll be able to get the links to the transcript and, of course, to Sonya and Tony's information as well. So thank you so much for listening today. Like I said, I hope it inspires you. I hope that this concept is another way for us to be able to see just how powerful our words can be, how powerful our writing can be. And as we come together as a community of creative individuals, we can move mountains. We can do such amazing things and be a radical positive force for good. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and go forth and start your author revolution.